Welcome to the Trust and Believe NOMADCAST, a podcast that covers a wide range of topics. So come chill with us on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Here's your host, Mr. Anderson.
Welcome everybody to episode 99 of the Trust and Believe NOMADCAST. I'm your host, Mr. Anderson. Thank you for tuning in today on the 21st of April, 2022. Episode 99. So that means tomorrow is episode 100. Hundo 100. So let's take care of the business today. Stay focused, Damon. Stay focused. Thank you guys for tuning in. I got off track a little bit. Appreciate you guys hanging out. So today I want to talk about here on the Gym Shoe Story on a Thursday. I want to talk about two foundational shoes in two respective sports, two different sports. The sport of tennis and the sport of soccer. And I will tell you, growing up, I remember a lot of the cats from back in the day were wearing these shoes. And I think, you know, as people talk about going retro and looking at some of the old school shoes, I don't know if anybody really thinks about these shoes in that type of space. For me, I remember a lot of guys and gals wearing them, but I think now when they're coming out with the retros and they're trying to bring out the vintage, because vintage is cool now, retro is cool now. And I think, you know, a lot of people have forgotten these two particular shoes. And the two particular shoes I'm talking about are the Adidas LAVER'S and the Adidas Samoa. So as you see here in the thumbnail, which one do you prefer? The Adidas LAVER'S or the Adidas Samoa? So just like any topic, anytime we do a show, I love categories. I love regimented activities. So I'll talk about the history of the LAVER'S, history of the Adidas Samoa. I give you the specifications of the LAVER'S and the Samoas. I'll provide my nostalgic memories of both shoes, and then we'll have closing remarks, close everything out, set the conditions for tomorrow, because tomorrow will be my 100th episode. Definitely can't wait for that, but let's take care of the business today. All right, so we're going to talk about, let's go ahead and not even waste any time. Let's go dive into the history of the LAVER'S. The LAVER'S were designed for, ding, 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 you guessed it, Rod Laver, a professional tennis player. The LAVER'S were originally launched in 1970. They were one of the few Adidas Pro model styles to grace the tennis courts. The version released in 1970 is vastly different from the version released in 1980. Now, if you look at this particular shoe here, this style, not this exact shoe, was released in 1980. But if you look at this picture here, you could definitely see the difference between the 1970 version and the 1980 version. And I go into specs. I just want to kind of highlight that part. So let's talk about the history of the Adidas Samoa. First introduced as an indoor football training shoe in 1977. The shoe didn't gain any traction until the 1980s, and that was due to fashion. Originally intended for soccer, the Samoa has transcended the fashion space for years. The silhouette has stood the test of time and has grown a strong fan base with multiple generations wearing those shoes. I would tell you the Adidas Samoa is probably one of the most identifiable Adidas. I mean, it's atypical of an Adidas classic shoe. 3 stripes, all the et ceteras. Again, another beautiful shoe. Say it again, Mr. Anderson, another phenomenal shoe. So let's go ahead and dive into the specs. So when we're talking about the specs of the Rod Laver Adidas, originally, like I stated in the history, they were designed for tennis. And these shoes were actually competing against their brother, the Stan Smith Adidas, named after Stan Smith, as you can see here. But a lot of people, even growing up, I remember a lot of folks was wearing the Stan Smiths over the Rod Laver's. One thing I liked about the Rod Laver, you see how thick that sole is? God dog, if I hit somebody in the head with this freaking sole, it'll daggone give them a freaking concussion, right? But if you look at the material, it's a nice material. It feels almost like a hard mesh, if you will. Thick sole. The toe box has a little suede on it, if you can see here. The back, I used to love the back of the Rod Laver's where it had the old school Adidas logo, Rod Laver, in the underarching format. Look at the Adidas logo on the tongue. I always love the old school Adidas logo compared to the modern version Adidas logo. It's just something about it. You got inside the shoe here, the Adidas signs, and that's the bottom of them. Now, this particular shoe was re-released in 2015. I bought these at the PX in Okinawa, Japan, the Kadena Air Force Base PX in Okinawa, Japan. And I had a pair of these way back in the day, but they were green, this color here. And the green ones, I noticed everyone, when I was growing up, they wore the green ones. I didn't see any blue ones. And I saw a pair of the hot top versions that you can see here. But a lot of people, they wore the Stan Smiths a lot, like I stated before. But the Rod Laver's to me was fresh. This was the type of shoe that you could wear with Adidas tracksuits. This is not a shoe that you will wear with jeans. This is more of a shoe that you will wear with shorts. You can wear these with cargo shorts, some Adidas shorts. This was designed for the sport of tennis, but cats that I grew up with and a lot of you guys, we didn't wear the shoe for its intended purpose. So these were actually tennis shoes, and we wore them as such. We rocked them. I remember the girls used to rock them with their Adidas clothes. And again, all this was green, the original ones, and this was green. I don't remember the blue ones during that time. I may be wrong, but all I remember are the green ones, the green ones, the green ones. The Rod Laver's, y'all, originally designed in 1970, but as you saw in the picture, the shoe was definitely different compared to this one that was released in 1980. So let's talk about the specs of the Adidas Samoa. Again, the Adidas Samoa, along with some other traditional Adidas shoes, this is the quintessential Adidas classic shoe. Again, look how the Samoa is going there, the angle, a vertical angle. The Adidas stripes with the ridges with the holes in there. I always like the Samoa toe box. Look at that. It's almost like a McDonald's arch, if you will. Strong toe box. Look at that toe shell right on the side. And again, this is for indoor soccer, the original intent. But, we took this thing and just made it a fashion statement. The old school Adidas logo in the back. That beautiful traditional vertical Adidas signage on the tongue. I know the shoestring is kind of in the way. And then you look inside here, Adidas as well. Phenomenal shoe, a very soft shoe, a cushioning shoe. It's a beautiful shoe. And I usually have it broken down with comfort. So I guess I'll just talk about the comfort level now. If we're talking about comfort between the Adidas Samoa and the Rod Laver's, the Adidas Samoa, hands down. The Rod Laver's is a very heavy shoe. The shoe is very heavy. It, again, feels like a freaking brick, but it's a beautiful shoe. The Adidas Samoa is a very light shoe. Again, the intended purpose of this was indoor soccer, right? And this was popular back in the day, as you can see with these silhouettes. If we're looking for comfort levels, if I had to rate comfort as a 10, I would give the Adidas Samoa probably a 9.5, and I would give the Rod Laver's probably an 8, due to the fact that the sole is huge, it's humongous, it's heavy. But the Adidas Samoa is a very light sole. It's almost like a gel type sole, and then you look at the bottom as well. Comfort level, the Adidas Samoa, hands down. So let's talk about nostalgic memories. So the Rod Laver's, my nostalgic memory of the Rod Laver's, I remember a lot of the guys in the neighborhood, a lot of the girls in the neighborhood, they were wearing the green Rod Laver's, as I stated. I don't remember anybody wearing any blue ones. The only colors I remember were green. I had a pair of green, and I remember running through, playing in the mud, getting them dirty, because I think I was somewhere outside playing, and my cousin had a pair of them, and I had a pair of them, and I ended up getting all this dirty all up in here. So once you get this mesh part, this hard mesh, once it's dirty, it's a wrap. You can wash it and wash it, detergent, bleach it, do whatever. The only thing it would do, all that dirt will end up turning the shoe yellow. So you might as well just get rid of them or just wear them for a shoe that you daggone cutting the grass in. But again, back to nostalgic memories. Again, I just remember the color green, and we wore those, wearing them with shorts in the summer. A lot of us grew up wearing gym shoes in the wintertime just because, but you didn't want to wear them in the wintertime. The snow and the ice will tear your feet up, give your feet some frostbite going on. But the Rod Laver was a beautiful shoe. I always loved, I love the bottom of it. It's a thick sole. It was a great chilling shoe. I just remember summertime in Detroit, people wearing their Rod Lavers. That's my nostalgic memory for the Rod Lavers. Now, we're talking about nostalgic memories of the Samoas. I never had a pair of Samoas growing up. And I remember the Samoas coming out. As you can see, some of these old school silhouettes here, these colors. But I don't remember owning a pair or requesting or begging my parents for a pair of Adidas Samoas. I bought these Samoas at the Kadena PX in Okinawa, Japan. I want to say 2016. But I remember when I was a recruiter in Detroit between 2010, 2013, I remember my future soldiers were wearing Samoas. And they weren't calling them Samoas. They were just saying old schools, which is okay because they came out back in the day. And I remember probably 2010, 11, 12, Adidas started remaking some of the Adidas Samoas, and they gained a lot of traction in the neighborhoods, traction all over the world, because I remember seeing pictures of people wearing Samoas. So a lot of that has tempered itself, and it's kind of slowed down, but you still can get a great pair of Adidas Samoas. It's a phenomenal shoe. It's a beautiful shoe. Old school. Adidas Samoa is like one of the classic old school looking Adidas. It has not compromised its integrity, its shoe integrity. Still a beautiful shoe. Love it, love it. So we talked about the history of the Rod Lavers. We talked about the history of the Samoas. We went with the specs, discussed the specs of the Rod Lavers and the Samoas. We talked about the comfort, and we talked about nostalgic memories. So I guess we will put a button on this show. Very quick. It's a very quick episode, but I hope we all got something out of it. So if you decide to want to buy a pair of Adidas Samoas or a pair of Rod Lavers, you can go on the Adidas website. I'll put a link in there as well. If you want a classic shoe, a chilling shoe, just to kind of hang out, you can't get no better than Adidas Rod Lavers. And you can't get no better than the Adidas Samoas. Again, they have different colors. This is not the only color, as you saw in the pictures, multiple colors. And the Rod Lavers come in multiple colors as well. So if you want a chilling shoe, a hangout shoe, summertime's coming up, right? A lot of hot weather. A lot of people are going to be going outside. Get you a pair of Adidas Rod Lavers, or get you a pair of Adidas Samoas, or get you a pair of Rod Lavers and Adidas Samoas, right? Pay me, Adidas. I'm advertising for y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead and close it out. Appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you for supporting the Trust and Believe NOMADCast. Getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode 100. Definitely looking forward to that. I'll take a look in the past of my few episodes. I'll talk about, which I think is more important, I'll talk about the lessons I've learned and the things if I had to do over. I'll talk about that in the episode. So tomorrow's episode may be a little lengthy because I want to add some different segments to it. So stay tuned for that. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great day. Have an honorable day. Do the right thing. Be safe. Watch your six. And just be constructive. Be positive. Be constructive. And be productive. All right? Peace and love, y'all. Godspeed. Let's say it all together. Trust and believe. See y'all tomorrow for episode 100. Thanks.